Do you ever wonder why, even after lying in bed for hours, your mind keeps running like a movie you can't pause? Why is it that your body feels heavy with exhaustion, but your brain refuses to power down? This is because your mind, unlike your muscles, doesn't automatically shut off when you stop moving. It needs an intentional reset. Before bed, your brain is like a desk piled high with papers, notes, and sticky reminders. If you don't clear that desk, you'll spend the night tripping over mental clutter. The good news: resetting your brain takes less than 10 minutes, and when done consistently, it can transform how you sleep and how you wake up. Science shows that during deep sleep, your brain actually washes itself, clearing out toxins that build up during the day. But here's the catch: you only reach that powerful cleaning mode if you slip into true rest. The question is, how do we get there? The first step is ritual. Just as a child falls asleep when told a bedtime story, your brain needs a signal that the day is done. Maybe it's dimming the lights. Maybe it's turning off the phone. Maybe it's lighting a candle. The form doesn't matter as much as the message is. It's safe now. You can let go. Screens, though, are the enemy of this message. The blue light pouring out of your phone tells your brain that the sun is still up, that it must stay alert, ready for danger. One of the most powerful resets you can give your brain is this: at least 30 minutes before bed, no screens. Let your eyes rest. Let your mind wander without the constant flicker of stimulation. Then there's the clutter in your thoughts. Try this. Keep a small notebook by your bedside. Write down every unfinished thought, every to-do for tomorrow, every worry that keeps tapping you on the shoulder. Once it's on paper, it no longer has to live rent-free in your head. The brain says, it's written down. I can let it go. Your breath is another secret reset button. Right now, notice if your breath is shallow or rushed. Before bed, take slow, deep breaths. Inhale gently, exhale even longer. This signals your nervous system to shift gears from fight or flight into rest and digest. It's like flipping a switch from survival mode to recovery mode. And here's one of the most underestimated tools: gratitude. You don't need a long list. Just 3 simple things you're thankful for, whispered to yourself in the dark. Gratitude doesn't just lift the spirit. It disarms stress, telling your brain the day is complete and there is enough. Over time, these little habits stack up. Your brain learns the rhythm: release, breathe, rest. The result: you fall asleep not as someone escaping the chaos of the day, but as someone stepping into peace. You wake up not groggy and heavy, but sharp, clear, ready. So tonight, before bed, try this: clear the desk of your mind. Put away the screens, write, breathe, give thanks. Do this, and you'll not just fall asleep. You'll reset your brain and rise with a strength that feels almost new. That is how you sleep like a baby and wake like a warrior. Do you ever notice how the quietest moments of the night often become the loudest in your mind? You turn off the lights, you finally lie down, and suddenly every unfinished task, Every conversation, every worry, and every memory comes rushing in. It feels as if your brain has been waiting for this exact time to bring out its entire filing cabinet and dump it onto your bed. And here's the truth. Most people never learn how to stop this nightly storm. They fight it, they resent it, and they suffer through restless hours that leave them drained the next morning. But the secret is not to fight the mind. The secret is to guide it, to gently reset it, so it can slip into the healing power of real sleep. Think of your brain as a high-powered computer. Throughout the day, it's running dozens of programs at once. Work, conversations, emotions, memories, endless tabs open like a browser you forgot to close. If you never restart the computer, what happens? It overheats, slows down, glitches. The same happens with your mind. A day without a nightly reset is like a machine running endlessly until it burns out. But when you press the reset button, when you allow the brain to slow down and shut off, it becomes sharp, resilient, and alive again the next day. Let's step into this more deeply. What really happens when you don't sleep well? It's not just feeling tired. Poor sleep is linked with anxiety, memory loss, weight gain, and even higher risk of chronic illness. The brain becomes like a foggy window. You can see through it, but nothing is sharp, nothing is clear. But when you sleep deeply, something extraordinary happens. Your brain engages in what scientists call glymphatic cleansing, a process where toxins and waste that built up during the day are washed away. This is not poetic language. This is biology. It's like running fresh water through a filter, so it's clear for the next day. Deep sleep is not a luxury, it's survival. And the reset you create before bed is the doorway into this healing. But here's the challenge. Our modern world is designed to keep us awake. The glowing rectangle of your phone tricks your brain into thinking it's still daytime. Endless notifications pull you back into work, into conflict, into fear. And the mind, already heavy with the weight of the day, gets dragged deeper into stimulation. This is why so many people can't fall asleep. The brain has not been given permission to let go. Think about it. Would you expect a car engine to stop instantly if it's been revving at full speed? No, it needs time to cool down. Your brain is the same. It needs a ritual, a signal, something that says, it's time to shut down now. What does that ritual look like? It doesn't have to be complicated. Imagine dimming the lights an hour before bed, as if you're slowly lowering the curtain on the stage of your day. Imagine setting down your phone in another room, just as a parent might set aside distractions to focus fully on a child. Imagine lighting a candle, reading a few pages of a book, or even just sitting quietly with yourself. These actions may seem small, almost too simple, but they carry power. They are cues to your brain, gentle whispers that the world can wait until tomorrow. And then comes the most overlooked tool, writing. Have you ever laid in bed and thought of something you must not forget? You repeat it over and over so you won't lose it. Yet the very act of holding on keeps you awake. This is where the notebook becomes your ally. When you write down what lingers in your head, you are telling your mind, it's safe to release this now. Your brain is like a guard on night duty. If you don't relieve it of its post, it will stay awake scanning for threats. Writing is the shift, change, the guard can finally rest. Breathing is another powerful tool. Right now, notice how you are breathing. Most people, especially at night, are shallow breathers. But the nervous system listens to the breath like a child listens to its mother. When you breathe quickly and lightly, your body believes danger is near. When you breathe deeply, slowly, with long exhalations, your body believes it is safe. Try it. Inhale for 4 seconds, exhale for 6. Repeat it for just 2 minutes and notice how your body begins to soften, how your shoulders lower, how your mind releases its grip. Breathing is your built-in reset button, always available, always free. And then there is gratitude, a word that sometimes feels too simple to hold real power, but it is one of the most transformative tools you can use. At the end of the day, your mind often races with what went wrong, what wasn't finished, what still needs fixing. Gratitude shifts that spotlight. It turns your attention to what is already present, what is already enough. When you whisper 3 small gratitudes before bed, a smile you received, a moment of laughter, even the softness of the pillow beneath you, you are guiding your brain into peace. Gratitude closes the book of the day with warmth instead of worry. Now let's imagine putting it all together. You dim the lights. You place your phone far from reach. You sit for a moment with pen and paper, releasing tomorrow's tasks. You breathe, slow and steady. You whisper a few words of gratitude. Then you close your eyes. What happens next is not instant. It's a gentle descent. Your brain, which once spun like a wheel on fire, begins to slow. Your body, once tense like a coiled spring, begins to release. And then, without you noticing the exact moment, you slip into deep, healing sleep. But consistency is key. One night of practice won't transform your life. It's the daily commitment that rewires your brain. Think of it like training a muscle. At first, it resists. At first, it fights. But over time, with gentle persistence, the muscle grows. Your brain learns to associate the ritual with rest, and soon, sleep is no longer a battle. It's a natural, welcome embrace. Here's the deeper truth. Resetting your brain before bed is not just about sleep. It's about life. When you wake up sharp, rested, and clear, you bring your best self to your work, your family, your dreams. You solve problems faster, you connect with people deeper, you carry less irritation and more patience. Sleep is not wasted time. It is the foundation of everything you do while awake. And I want you to ask yourself tonight, what would your life look like if every morning you woke up with clarity instead of fog, with calm instead of tension, with energy instead of exhaustion? How different would your relationships be? Your work, your health, your happiness. The small choices you make before bed hold the power to answer those questions. So do this before bed. Reset your brain. Release the clutter onto paper. Turn off the screens, breathe deeply, whisper gratitude. Let ritual become your lullaby. Let peace become your habit. When you give your brain this gift, it will repay you every morning with clarity, focus, and strength. And that, my friends, is not just how you sleep like a baby. That is how you rise like someone reborn every single day. Have you ever noticed how some of the most successful people you admire, leaders, creators, thinkers, carry themselves with an energy that feels alive, focused, and resilient? People often assume it's because of what they do during the day. But if you look closely, you'll discover their power often comes from what they do at night. Because how you end your day is how you set up your tomorrow. If you want to wake up with clarity, confidence, and strength, the ritual before bed is where it begins. Most of us were never taught how to end the day. As children, someone else tucked us in, read us stories, dimmed the lights for us. Our nervous system learned safety through routine. But as adults, we abandoned that rhythm. Instead of soft endings, we now close our days with glowing screens, unfinished emails, or scrolling through the endless lives of strangers. Our nervous system is confused, restless, unable to distinguish between the end of a day and the chaos of one more hour awake. And so we toss and turn, wondering why peace doesn't come naturally. Let me ask you, how often have you woken up with regret, not because of what you did that day, but because of how little you slept the night before? It's almost cruel, isn't it? You need energy to tackle life, yet the very habits you engage in before bed steal that energy away. This is not about blame. It's about awareness. The moment you realize you can choose how to close your day, you step into power. You no longer stumble into sleep. You prepare for it as if it were the most important meeting of your life, because in many ways it is. Think of sleep as the meeting where your mind and body come together to heal. During the night, your brain consolidates memory. Everything you studied, every detail you want to recall tomorrow, is organized and stored. Without deep sleep, that organization is sloppy, like tossing important documents into random drawers. That's why sleep-deprived students or professionals often forget what they thought they knew. Their brain never got the chance to file it properly. So when you reset your brain before bed, you're not just resting. You're preparing your memory, your creativity, your problem-solving skills to be sharp when you wake. But it goes deeper. In Matthew Walker's book, Why We Sleep, he describes how the brain acts like a gardener at night, pruning unnecessary connections and strengthening the vital ones. Imagine your brain is a forest. Every day, new growth appears, some useful, some wild and tangled. Without pruning, the forest becomes overgrown, chaotic, unmanageable. Sleep is when the gardener walks in with shears, trimming, shaping, cultivating clarity. Skipping that reset is like telling the gardener to stay home. The forest grows wild, and eventually, you lose sight of the path. Now, let's talk about stress. When you carry unresolved stress into bed, it doesn't simply vanish when the lights go off. It lingers, feeding restless dreams or keeping you in a shallow state of sleep where the body never fully restores itself. That's why rituals of release matter so much. Writing thoughts onto paper, as I mentioned earlier, is powerful because it transforms invisible worry into visible ink. It takes what feels heavy and gives it form, so you no longer have to carry it. Breathing, too, dissolves the day's tension. Each exhale is an act of surrender, each inhale a signal of renewal. Here's something fascinating. Gratitude at night actually rewires your brain while you sleep. Neuroscience shows that when you focus on gratitude, your brain activates networks associated with calm, safety, and trust. That emotional state becomes the lens through which your brain processes the day's memories. In other words, if you fall asleep grateful, you literally teach your brain to see life with more resilience and less fear. And over time, this practice doesn't just improve sleep. It improves how you wake up to the world. Let me give you a practical story. A patient once came to me, exhausted, convinced something was wrong with her physically. She had tried medications, supplements, even expensive mattresses, but nothing worked. When I asked about her bedtime habits, she admitted her routine was scrolling social media until her eyes ached, then collapsing into bed with her mind buzzing. I suggested a new ritual: no screens an hour before bed, 10 minutes of journaling, and 3 deep gratitude breaths before sleep. At first, she resisted. She thought it was too simple, almost silly. But within 3 weeks, her sleep transformed. She told me she felt as though her brain had been carrying heavy stones for years. And finally, someone helped her set them down. That's the power of a reset. It often feels small, but its effects ripple into every part of life. And here's the key: simplicity beats complexity. You don't need an elaborate ritual with candles, baths, and a perfect playlist, though those things can help if you enjoy them. What matters most is consistency. The brain thrives on rhythm, just as the body has a circadian rhythm. The natural rise and fall of energy based on light and darkness. The mind has